I am here with Councilor Albright, the Ward 2 Councilor at Large, as well as President of the City Council. Councilor Albright, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time to discuss what's going on in the City Council to kind of provide us an update of what's happening.
Sure, happy to be with you on this lovely Zoom call.
the wave of the future, we'll see. At least the new norm for now.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of go over a little bit of an update for construction within the city in terms of how is construction moving along in terms of, current construction. How is that going?
So the construction projects that were creating new units of housing have been going on right along under state guidelines and they've had to reduce the number of people on the site following the guidelines for social distancing and all of that. But the new event is that people who've had their projects for their home renovations put on hold, those can finally get started again. And on the ISD page on the city's website, there is a form that you have to fill in and read guidelines and say that you will abide by the guidelines. And so those projects where people have been out of their houses and waiting to get back in and get started again, those can start under the new guidelines. So
things are either currently running or about to start again.
About to start again, right?
So moving right along. So that's,
yeah, lots of happy people because of that decision.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are anxious to get restarted.
Yes.
And how about, let's talk about a new subject that came up regarding delivery fee caps for food. So perhaps not to single out Grubhub or one of those, but something similar to that kind of service. City Council is looking to perhaps cap the delivery fees?
Yes, so this all came to my attention via the chamber. Mm-hmm. And it was Moldova Restaurant that wrote a letter saying that they were having a hard time because they in normal times agree to pay a percent, like I think it's 30% of the bill. So if you pay $50 for your food, 30% of that goes to the delivery service. Depending on the delivery service, it's up or down. And in these days where there's no dine-in eating, they're having a hard time making a go of it because so much of the money goes to the delivery fees, delivery charges. And so we heard Moldova Restaurant told us that the San Francisco mayor had put a cap on fees in San Francisco. So we started the ball rolling to see what we could do here. And I know Cambridge and Boston are also looking into it. Mm-hmm. On Monday night, we passed a resolution asking the mayor to work with her city departments to find a way to cap the fees in Newton. And so now the ball is in the mayor's court. I know the law department is not thrilled with this idea because they're looking for a way to make it legal and haven't found it yet. But I did have a conversation with the law department yesterday and they said, find out how San Francisco is enforcing their executive order. So I've sent an email to the mayor of San Francisco to find out how they're doing it. Hopefully something can work out here.
I mean, this sounds like it could be a legal battle because they're somewhat of a contract between the restaurants and the delivery service. Right. So I guess, yeah, finding out from the mayor of San Francisco can really lead by example.
Yes, so I'm checking my email every moment, hoping for a response, but I'm sure she has other things on her mind besides responding to my quest for capping the fees.
I'm sure there are many other things going on.
Right.
So that's something that's perhaps coming forth. One thing that you guys are discussing in the City Council is the $2.5 million in emergency relief funds for low to middle income families. Can you explain a little bit about this and where it comes from and who really does benefit from it?
So we heard from the Mass Housing Partnership, which does housing in Massachusetts, had collaborated with the Community Preservation Coalition across the state to tell the localities, the cities and towns, that you can use community preservation money to help with rental assistance. So we docketed an item to let the administration know that we as the council are interested in this. And at the same time, the mayor expressed an interest in this and the planning department began working on a proposal. This proposal was heard by the Community Preservation Committee and the Planning Board last Monday night. and there were a few changes that were proposed, and they will be bringing a proposal to spend, I think it is 2.5 million for rental assistance for people who've lost their jobs because of COVID. And I think they're going to make it under 80% of area median income people will be eligible. And this proposal will be coming to the council at a committee of the whole on Monday night coming up at 7 o'clock for our hopefully for our passage, but we'll see what happens.
So this is basically CPA funds that will be turned around and used for COVID-19 related housing issues.
Right.
I guess there's also a $500,000 money. $500,000 is coming from the CDBG as well. Yes. To help with this.
Yes. So it'll be for rental assistance and for some mortgage support.
Mm-hmm.
And this is legal according to both sets of rules, community CPA money and the CDBG money. So it's legal in both accounts, and now we have to just see if the proposal is sound and if we're happy with it.
Would it be similar to perhaps the Newton COVID-19 Care Fund, where people would apply and the bills would be paid directly and not people actually getting money?
Exactly. The landlords people will apply, they'll explain the rental, their income, and what happened to their income, and the money will go directly to the landlords to pay the rent for 3 months, and I think it's 75% of the rent would be paid according to the proposal. So yeah, exactly.
So that'll come up on May 11th, correct?
11th,
Monday.
right. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, and that's also a big night for the mayor because she'll be presenting the budget. Now, do you foresee, because everything is kind of up in the air, do you foresee any trouble for the city council to, vote on the final budget? Do you see any changes in the works? Because right now everything's kind of up in the air and not really knowing how we're going to move forward.
Right. I'm sure there'll be some reductions that we will have to deal with as the budget goes along. We have 45 days by law to approve the mayor's budget. And we will just squeak it in. I think we have a week to spare. I think our new budget process is scheduled to begin it begins tonight with reviewing the school's budget tonight. And then the rest of the budget is presented on Monday, and we have worked out a schedule to get it done, I think by like the 23rd of June, something like that. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a few days to spare in there in case we need it.
Now, how has, I guess, the city councilors been handling the Zoom calls? Has it made life easier, harder? Are you working more? Are you working less? It's the new norm at the moment.
We're definitely not working less. But I was just talking to some counselors this morning. I think we're feeling Zoom fatigue. The meetings are getting done, and it's a great way to get the work done. So I'm glad we have this method. We did get Zoom bombed, and early on, it was a Programs and Services Committee meeting. But the clerk's office has been amazing. They figured out a way to stop that from happening, and it has not happened again.
Okay.
So that worries, at least in the back rearview mirror. And we're just getting our work done, getting it done. We can't wait for the day when we can all be back in the chamber together. But in the meantime, we're using what we have.
Yes, it seems to be working because we're at New TV. I know that we're able to actually share more meetings because of these Zoom calls.
Absolutely. We had a meeting on our agenda with New TV to ask them about putting cameras in the committee rooms. Mm-hmm. And here this happened. So now we're doing a trial of actually televising many of our committee meetings. That part is terrific.
It is. Yeah. The more people know, the better off we all are.
Right.
Well, thank you, Councilor Albright. I appreciate you taking the time to give us an update, and I'm sure I'll be checking in with you again shortly to see how things are going and moving along, and perhaps face to face at some point too.
Terrific. Thanks.